Chair recognizes the honourable member for Marathon.
Mr. Speaker, today is indeed an historic day, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, it is.
This is an historic day, Mr. Speaker, and let me just say first, as Minister of Education, I agreed that certain schools would be able to bring young kids out here today, Mr. Speaker, just so that in the future they would be able to say to their children and grandchildren, those unborn, that they were here to recognize and be a part of this historic day, Mr. Speaker. I say that, Mr. Speaker, because I've been informed already this morning that on social media people are making sport of the fact that kids are out here today, knowing that as a country we have continued year after year to make the point that we need to educate our children more about the history of our country. This is a part of their social studies curriculum, Mr. Speaker, the history of our country, and that's why they're here. So all of those who are listening, Mr. Speaker, I want them to understand the reason and the rationale why kids are out here, Mr. Speaker. That's the first point. Mr. Speaker, this is a government that recognizes and respects everyone's point of view. Sometimes we've been characterized and criticized for moving too slowly, Mr. Speaker. But that is in an effort, Mr. Speaker, to make sure that we have the views of the country and individuals in this country who want to respond to a debate. It happened during the debate with value-added tax, Mr. Speaker. It happened during this debate. As a result, we have had to extend the time period for us to bring value-added tax into law, and we allowed those who opposed it to challenge us. And we gave them the best advice we had, and at the end of the day, they found that our advice was, in fact, the best advice. So it is today, Mr. Speaker. The member for Marco City raised concerns during the debate, Mr. Speaker, and those concerns were legitimate concerns, Mr. Speaker. As a result, Mr. Speaker, we decided that we would get an opinion on it. And so, Mr. Speaker, we went to what would be considered one of the foremost legal minds, the Honorable Michael J. Beloff, QC, to examine the points raised by the member for Marco City, which were points raised by the general public. Marco City was only reflecting some of the concerns that were raised by the general public. That's the man who the government decided to go to, Mr. Speaker, to get a response and an understanding of the legal points raised by the member for Marco City. So we took it very seriously. Went so far as to send the complete transcript, the Hansard, to make sure nothing was missed, no misinterpretation, no misunderstanding, Mr. Speaker. That's how serious we take this and how seriously we took the contribution by the member for Marco City, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in law, those of us who are lawyers, we have something what is called settled law. Settled law. And what we mean when we say settled law is that it really is beyond discussion. And even if you want to debate it, you ain't going nowhere because the court doesn't recognize it. The court is settled on what a policy, a position, a point of law is. It's settled, Mr. Speaker. And so, Mr. Speaker, when it comes to sex and a person's sex, it's settled law in the UK and in the Bahamas. It's settled law, Mr. Speaker. It is settled law, Mr. Speaker. It means, Mr. Speaker, you're either male or female. Thank you.